Hey guys, it's Miss Coughlin. So we're going to do our word study for today. We're on day 3. Our goal is still to determine the meaning of a root word, which our root word this week is flex. So it says it's riddle time, and the title of our riddle is Me and Myself. I look at the ground underneath my feet. I see myself. The image begins to retreat. With each ripple, life rearranges, but when the ripples stop, I come to find the same person. I am on top. It can only do as told, it is not bold. The rain from above will fall from time to time, but I know what's underneath my feet is forever mine. Myself will be me, and so my it will be. No matter where myself stands, myself will always know who I am. So if I look at this poem, it says, what could this poem be talking about? It says, use your context clues. So it's got a lot of figurative language, which means that, you have to read a lot into what it's talking about. So if I look at that first sentence, I look at the ground underneath my feet. So they might actually be looking at the ground, or they could be talking about they're looking at where they are in life. Like, what are you accomplishing right now? What are you doing that's helping to make you successful? And then the second sentence says, I see myself. The image begins to retreat. So retreat could mean a couple different things, but I've got this video of a cat, a mama cat retreating from the kitten. So let's look at this video here. Now, during the day, there'll be a progression from sun to high clouds to thickening clouds. As the big cat gets closer, that cat retreats back into the table. So he's kind of backing away. So if I go back to our slide here, with myself, the image begins to retreat. So maybe you're stepping back and looking at your picture of your life. Like, what are you doing with your life? With each ripple, life rearranges. A ripple, usually we think about it like this. The picture will pull up. This is like a ripple in the water. So when you drop something in the water, it ripples. So it's changing the water, right? It's changing the water from being something that's still and stagnant to a ripple effect. So a ripple is something that might change your life, something that you maybe is a little bit hard for you. And then it says, but when the ripples stop, so when the changes stop, when hard things stop, I come to find the same person. I am on top. So even though those hard things are happening to you in your life, and those things are changing you and changing you for the better, like this is a great example. We're doing school on the computer. That's something that was thrown at us. That's something that we're changing. But we're going to come out next year and we're still going to be students and we're still going to be teachers and we're still going to be successful. So we're still on top. We're still in charge of our life. It can only do as told. It is not bold. So your choices are only going to be the ones that you make for your life. Nobody else can make those choices for you. You have to make those choices for your life. The rain from above will fall from time to time. So it's going to be hard sometimes, and it's not going to be fun all the time, but it's going to be okay. Because then it says, but I know what's underneath my feet is forever mine. So where you are in life, even if it's hard, it depends on you. And so it will be, no matter where myself stands, myself will always know who I am. So you will always know who you are. You have to stay true to yourself. So they're just kind of doing a reflection on themselves and how they're going to help themselves be successful. And so I have a video on how do you know yourself? How could you know yourself? This is just a little reflection video.
Accomplished in many ways, capable of fulfillment at many points, but with a fundamental wound that stops us from becoming who we truly might be.
So that's the rain coming down.
Who we are. It isn't, of course, that we can't remember the basics of our biographies. We're unsure around two things in particular. Firstly, we don't have a stable sense of what we're worth. And secondly, we don't have a secure hold on our own values or judgments. Without knowing who we are, we tend to have particular trouble coping with either denigration or adulation. If other people decide that we are worthless or bad, there will be nothing inside us to prevent us from swallowing their verdicts.
So that means that those people are
wrong-headed,
pulling out of your
or
bucket
unkind
instead of
these might
adding
be.
to it.
We'll be helpless before the court of public opinion. We'll always be asking other people what we deserve before seeking inside for an answer. Lacking an independent verdict, we also stand to be unnaturally hungry for external praise.
That means you'll always want people to tell you how good you are, even though you can do that on the inside.
We'll be prey to rushing towards whatever idea or activity the crowd happens to love. We'll laugh at jokes that aren't funny, uncritically accept undeserving concepts that are in vogue, and neglect our truer talents for easy, popular wins. We'll trail public opinion slavishly, constantly checking the world's whims rather than consulting an inner barometer in order to know what we should want, feel, and value. We need to be kind on ourselves. No one is born with an independent ability to know who they are. We learn to have an identity because, if we're blessed, in our early years, someone else takes the trouble to study us with immense fairness.
So it's like your moms, your dads, your teachers.
Us back to us in a way that makes sense and that we can later emulate. They give us the beginning of a true portrait of our identity, which we can then take on and enrich over the years and use as a defense against the distorting verdicts from hurried or ill-intentioned others. Knowing who one is really the legacy of having been known properly by somebody else at the start. This early identity building tends to unfold with apparently innocuous but life-saving small steps. "Oh, that must really have hurt," a parent might say in response to an upset, thereby validating an infant's own feelings. Or, "It's okay not to feel happy on your birthday."
Sorry guys, it's
a
my
parent
dog.
might say at another point, delicately upholding an infant's less typical response to certain events. Ideally, the child isn't just known, he or she is also interpreted as likable. A good parent offers generous interpretations. They're on the side of the child and are always ready to put the best possible gloss on moments of ill temper or of failure, which forms the basis upon which resilient self-esteem can then later emerge. Now, that's the ideal, but it can, of course, go very wrong, and often it does. A parent may offer mirroring that is out of sync with the reality of the child. "Look, who's such a happy little boy or girl?" a parent might insist, when actually the opposite is clearly the case, thereby badly scrambling the child's ability to connect with their own emotions. Or the parent might only lend the child a very harsh, punitive way of interpreting itself, repeatedly suggesting that the child is ill-intentioned or no good. Or the parent may simply not show very much interest in the child, focusing themselves elsewhere, so that the child grows up with a feeling that not only is it not worth.
So this is just kind of I'm going to go ahead and stop it there. It's just kind of a video that helps you decide how you can reflect on yourself and who you are. Let's get back to that video presentation. So that's our self-reflection page. And then our next slide. So we have these different ways that we can push air through. So concave or convex. Mind the tone of your voice. So the way that you're talking, if you're talking to somebody, you don't want to sound mean or you don't want to sound annoyed. So tone of voice, that means your pitch. That's like how high your voice goes or how low your voice goes. The volume, are you talking really loud or are you talking the pace, are you talking really fast so nobody can understand you? Are you talking so slow that you can take an hour to tell your story? And then I can't hold on. Timbre, like how is your voice changing? So this is called inflection. So here's some exercises we're gonna do. We're going to practice our voice inflection together.
Can't figure out how to increase public speaking skills for your kids?
Here we go.
By the end of this video, you'll have a fun, creative voice projection and inflection exercise to use today. This is a proven successful activity that I've used for the past 11 years on elementary campuses with over 3,000 learners.
That's
so
you guys.
Now it's your turn. Step number 1, set the stage. Okay, so set up your stage and activity area by selecting 3 to 4 volunteers in a straight line in front of the group. Have the rest of the group.
So we can't really do this because we're not here.
Step number 2, explain the game. As the director,
I'm going to skip through. Let's see.
or that your students aren't screaming. Now that you've set up the stage and explained the game, it's time to play. Take a look. I want the candy. I want it so bad.
So her inflection is that she's sad.
Peanut butter cup now.
He looks angry.
I'm gonna turn this candy store apart.
She's kind of crazy.
Really, really sad. Why? Why? Why?
He's a little dramatic.
Now there you go.
Okay, so that's just a little voice inflection. So you could make yourself talk really, really angry, or you could make yourself talk really, really happy, or really, really sad, like those people were. So inflection is the way that you sound when you're talking. And let's see. So remember we said concave and convex, the tone of your voice, all those good things. So that's called your voice inflection. And then this last one is, what do we notice about these trees? They're in the water, but I'm wondering, is there a tree growing under the water too? What is that called when we see a tree above water, but then we look at the water and we kind of see the same image on that side? So we're just, if I had a mirror, maybe that would be the same thing. If I was looking at myself, I'd be like, I wonder what that is. Or, for example, I can see myself on my computer. So what is that of me? I'm thinking that's, we call that reflection. And reflection takes the word flex and talks about the bending or the stretching of light or the image, because it's bending the light back onto something else. So a lot of times you think about that with a mirror. The image is in front of you, but the mirror is bending the light back at you so you can see the same image, which is what the water is doing for these trees. It's making it have a reflection for the trees. So then we could look at this and say, remember, reflection, bending or looking back, stretching the way you think about yourself. Like how do you think you're handling that situation? How do you think you're doing in life? And it's okay, sometimes we're struggling, but we're all learning together, right? Inflection, how you're bending or stretching your voice so that you sound a certain way to other people, or you make sure that your voice is appropriate for what you're reading. A lot of times you use this in reading. And then reflecting or reflect, looking at the bending of the light, like the tree image on the water or yourself in the mirror. So that's all we're going to do today, because we can't really do that. If you want to make one of these little cootie catcher things, you're more than welcome to do that, but it's not a requirement. So I hope you guys have a great Wednesday, and we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Bye.